welcome to episode 31 of the Knitty Heather podcast. My name is Heather and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington, where I live with my husband Tom and our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Pepper. This is my podcast where I talk all about everything that I am working on with knitting and crocheting, and I also love to feature really wonderful makers that add to the beauty of our fiber community. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I am so happy that you found me and I hope you enjoy yourself. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really, truly appreciate it. If you would like to follow me, I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I always love seeing what everyone is working on and sharing on Instagram, especially now that it is Summer Sock Camp 2021 time. All of the yarn and patterns and accessories I talk about will be listed and linked in the description box below. Today is Saturday, June 26th, 2021, and I have a lot to tell you about today, so let's get started. Today I am wearing my one-row lace scarf by Magda Strick-Therian, and I have knit this pattern 3 times. It is a very simple one row back and forth, the same row, just really pretty lace pattern. You can block it to open it up a little more, but I have found that you don't really need to block it. Now it is a scarf pattern, but with this one, I just knit as long as my yarn let me and then seamed it up with a whip stitch so that I can wear it double. I could wear it as a really long loop if I wanted as well. I'm not quite sure what this yarn is, but I do know that it is a German sock yarn, and I got it from my hairdresser who gave me a bunch of yarn when she was destashing a few years ago. So shout out to Mary if you're watching. Hi Mary. I'm lucky to have a wonderful hairdresser that I've been with since I was about 10 years old, and she is also quite crafty. So every time I get my haircut, we always talk crafting. This is another one of those super versatile patterns that you could make wider, narrower. You could really do all kinds of different things with. It would look great with self-striping. It would look great with kind of a variegated like this, or just a pretty tonal yarn as well. I love patterns like this that have a ton of possibilities. This was the one-row lace scarf by Magda Strick-Therian of Magda Makes. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. Check it out. Today I am also wearing my Times Square socks I knit last June. This is a pattern by Mina Phillip, the knitting expat, and it was part of her New York sock club a few years ago. The yarn I used is from Hypnotic Yarn in her Yarnable box from June 2020. It is called Sandcastles. These were knit toe up with the German short row heel and about 15 rounds of a 2x2 rib for the cuff. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about some Happy Mail. I actually got this a couple months ago now, but I haven't had a chance to share it yet on the podcast, and I'd like to do so today. This was the 4th installment of the Harry Potter or Witches and Wizards Yarn Club by Crystal Skies, hand dyed on Etsy. This colorway is called Task 1 Dragons, and it kind of has colors that represent all of the dragons from that first task of the Triwizard Tournament that happens in the 4th Harry Potter book, The Goblet of Fire. I have really been enjoying her yarn clubs. You can order on lots of different bases. For the Harry Potter club, I've been getting it on her Bengal worsted, which is 100% superwash worsted, and it is so soft and squishy. I really love it, and I will definitely be casting this on someday very soon for another pair of really cozy, comfy sleeping socks. Check out Crystal Skies hand dyed on Etsy. She's got a couple clubs that are sort of ongoing. If you sign up too late for that current month, you will just get the following month's installment of her club. She has lots of other great colorways in her shop as well. Check out Crystal Skies hand dyed on Etsy. Now on to my finished objects. I have 2 half-finished pairs of socks to show you today. The first is my June Desert Vista Dye Work sock. This colorway is called Summer Sock Camp 2021. It was a sock set from Desert Vista Dye Works that has all the colors of Kay the Crazy Sock Lady's Summer Sock Camp 2021 logo. And I did her exclusive VIP camper pattern called Sock Camp Picnic. It's a very pretty sort of twisted rib with a little bit of other texture as well. It's kind of cabling without a cable needle. Very simple and a really fun texture that I think has been knitting up quite nicely in this self-striping. I love that there's sort of a speckled stripe in this colorway to kind of represent the starry night sky. I followed the pattern exactly as written. I did cast on with the mini that came with this sock set that kind of has the colors of a campfire. I cast on and did 3 rounds of 2x2 rib with that color, and then did 1 plain round of knitting with the main color, and continued for a total of 20 rounds of ribbing for the cuff. And then I did the heel flap and turn with the contrasting mini, and the toe with the contrasting mini as well. This is really a fun pattern, and she will release it to the general public on August 1st. I do have my second one almost done. I just have a few more repeats down the foot. I'm using the Summer Sock Camp Progress Keeper from Crazy Sock Lady Designs on Etsy. And this really works up very quickly. I've been really enjoying this knit, and I'm looking forward to trying it again with kind of a more tonal yarn. I think would look really nice as well. This is the Sock Camp Picnic pattern by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Desert Vista Dye Works Summer Sock Camp 2021. My next half finished object is my first Dubai sock. This is a pattern by Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expat, and it is a beautiful cabled pattern. I did it all the way around the leg and the top of the foot. This cable pattern is called Dubai Dunes, and it is the 4th pattern from her Around the World in 8 Socks collection that she came out with, and they have all been so much fun. I did a German short row heel, just plain stockinette, 20 rounds of the cuff that she recommends to lead into all the beautiful cabling, and then the rounded wedge toe that she calls for in her pattern. Super pretty, and I love this yarn too. The yarn I'm using is Lolo Did It, part of her Downton Abbey Upstairs and Downstairs Club, and the contrasting mini is called Drawing Room, and the main color is called Lady Sybil's Dress. I think this colorway went really nicely with this pattern. You did need a cable needle to do these cables. And I cannot wait to finish the second sock. I do have the second sock mostly done. This Strawberry Ice Cream Progress Keeper is from Sweet Cherry on Etsy. And I have done the heel on this second sock. And again, I'm just kind of working down the foot. And I hope to have this pair done by the end of the month so I can cast on her next Destinations sock for the month of July, and I believe the city that inspired her July design is Hong Kong. So I'm really excited to see what that's gonna look like. I haven't quite decided what yarn I'm gonna use. I might wait to see what the pattern looks like when it comes out on July 1st to decide which yarn will be best for it. This is the Dubai sock by Mina Phillip, knit up in Lolo Did It Drawing Room and Lady Sybil's Dress. Now on to my works in progress. The first I'd like to tell you about is my pair of socks from the Cozy Knitter. I've made a little more progress on these. This was from her March Yarn of the Month Club, and the colorway is called Pinata. I am using a S'mores Progress Keeper from Pitter Patter Polymer, and the bag I have it in is a lovely Mary Poppins bag from Fangirl Fibers. I am doing these 2 at a time, toe up, on a 40-inch Nova Platina needle from Knitter's Pride. Just kind of their metal. Very smooth, very nice on this yarn. I did my normal wedge-shaped toe where I cast on 32 stitches using Judy's Magic Cast On, and then increase until I have a 64 stitch count. Here's what the yarn looks like in the cake. I have completed 1 repeat through the colors. Now it'll go back to this yellow. And these are just really bright and cheerful for this time of year. I'm really happy to be working on these. I've got probably about 20 or 30 more rounds to do before I do a Fish Lips Kiss Heel in this blue contrasting mini that she included. And then I'll continue knitting up the leg and use the mini again for about 10 or 12 rounds of a 2x2 rib is what I usually do on my Cozy Knitter socks. This is her 80/20 Bliss base and it is so beautiful. I always love working with this yarn. This is my Easy Vanilla Friday Night Knit Group project when I'm on my knit group Zoom meeting. And I can't wait to keep working on these. This is just a plain vanilla sock knit up in the Cozy Knitter Pinata. Next, I'd like to tell you about the pair of socks I have on my needles from Hypnotic Yarn, her Yarnable subscription box. This is her colorway from April called Stormwatch. And I am doing the Wyatt sock by Kaylit, the Crazy Sock Lady. This chocolate chip cookie ice cream cone progress keeper is from Sucre Miniatures. Here's what the yarn looks like in the cake. So pretty. Really some dark, deep colors. And I wanted to knit a pattern with this yarn, but I figured not everything would show up very well, but I think this kind of spirally pattern of the Wyatt socks actually is showing up pretty nicely with this yarn. I have about 3 more repeats of the pattern that I want to do on the leg, and then I will do her slip stitch heel flap and gusset that she calls for. This is only the first sock of these that I am working on so far. I have it in my Hamilton project bag from Fate's Thread, and I'm using my Addi Flexi Flips on these, which has been really fun. I haven't used these a whole lot, and this will be another entry into the summer sock camp. This will be entered into the wildcard cabin since they are Flexi Flips, but I think this is such a cool pattern, and I don't really have any other socks that look like this, so I'm really excited to keep doing this spiral pattern with purl and knit ridges. This is the Wyatt sock by Kaylit, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Hypnotic Yarn Stormwatch. Next, I'd like to tell you about my Spring Rainbow Connection sock. This is another pattern by Kaylit, the Crazy Sock Lady, and I've been trying to knit one of these every quarter to go along with the season. This is my second sock of this rainbow colorway. This is Spring Rainbow by Desert Vista Dye Works, a special sock set with 2 50-gram half skeins that she dyed up specifically for this pattern. There's this cream color, and then the self-striping. Such a fun pattern to knit with these pretty slip stitches, and then it's just plain striping on the back. And I really love these kind of pastel-y rainbow shades of this springtime colorway. The Summer Rainbow, which I will cast on hopefully July 1st, has lots of really, really bright colors. I'm hoping by the next time I record, this will be a finished object. I should have this pair done and hopefully the summer pair cast on. I am using ChiaoGoo 32-inch red lace for magic loop on this. And I have it in my Knitting Chickens bag from Bags by Awesome Granny with a chicken and waffles progress keeper as a zipper pull. This was from Simply Serving on Etsy. This is the Rainbow Connection sock by Kaylit, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Spring Rainbow by Desert Vista Dye Works. Now I'd like to show you the progress I've made on my second sleeping sock. I just picked up the gusset stitches. I finished the heel flap and turn. This is the Learn to Knit sock pattern by Stacey Perry of Very Pink Knits, and it's my go-to pattern for just a general worsted, vanilla, classic cuff down, heel flap, and gusset design. My Rainbow Chip Cake Progress Keeper is from Simply Serving on Etsy. This colorway is called Aunt Petunia's Pudding Cake, and it was from book 2 of Crystal Sky's hand-dyed Harry Potter Club. Really perfect colors, and I love how it's knitting up. So now I need to decrease these gusset stitches and then work down the foot and close up the toe, and I will have another pair of comfy sleeping socks. I would love it if these were done by the next time I podcast as well. We will see how I do. I'm using my size 5 Knitter's Pride Dreams double pointed needles, which I prefer for this pattern. And it is in my sheep project bag from April 9 Designs on Etsy with the sheep progress keeper from Bump on a Hill on Etsy that I'm using as a zipper pull. I always love wearing socks in bed at night to keep my feet warm, and I'm excited to have another pair off the needles very shortly. This is the Learn to Knit Socks pattern by Stacey Perry of Very Pink Knits, knit up in Aunt Petunia's Pudding Cake by Crystal Skies hand dyed. Last, I would like to share with you the next Christmas ball I have been working on. I'm a little more than halfway through. I did the plain rounds in the middle, and then now I'm starting to decrease. This is what it is going to look like. Then I'll kind of close it up. I'm using my Jingle Balls 2019 Progress Keeper and my Jingle Balls 2019 project bag that came in a kit from the Grocery Girls. And the colorway I am using is Zombody Are You from Desert Vista Dye Works, part of her Zombody in Wonderland collection. This is what I have left of it. And I'm using my Desert Vista Dye Works scraps to make these Christmas balls because I think they knit up really nicely with self-striping. I will fill it with polyfill. I know that you can wrap it around like a plastic ornament as well. And I might do that on some of them, but this one I'm going to polyfill again. This is the second one in the little collection I am making of these. And it's a lot of fun to knit. The pattern I'm following is the Orbit Ball pattern by Stacey Perry of Very Pink Knits. And it is all stockinette. I am using size 1 2.25 DPNs. These are the Majestic needles from Knit Picks. And for fingering weight yarn like this, I increased until I had 32 stitches on each needle. And that turned out to be a size that I like. But of course you can knit these however you want. It's a very, very flexible pattern. Now I just need to decrease until I get to maybe 5 or 6 stitches on each needle. Then I'll start shoving the polyfill in and finish closing those last few rounds up. This is just past the halfway point of an Orbit Ball by Stacey Perry of Very Pink Knits, knit up in Desert Vista Dye Works Zombody Are You. Well, I think that is about all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me and supporting my channel. Please don't forget to give this video a like and consider subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me. I'd very much appreciate it. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts about the podcast and any ideas you might have for future content. I would love to get your feedback on any of those things. You are more than welcome to leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I would love to hear from you. But until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.